Hi, this is Brandon with Radio K at South by Southwest, and I'm here with...
Tramhaus.
And could you guys introduce yourselves real quick?
I'm Lucas, I'm the singer of Tramhaus.
And I'm Jim, I'm the drummer of Tramhaus.
And how is South by Southwest going for you guys?
It's been busy, it's been fun. Yeah, good times.
Yeah, been pleasantly surprised. Every show has been nice crowd and we've been having a loads of fun. Yeah.
How many shows have you guys done so far?
We played 3 shows and we have another 4 to go. So yeah.
That's quite a bit. Does it ever get tiring doing all that stuff over and over? Or is it sounds like 2 shows a day, kind of?
Yeah, it is. So I must say, 2 days ago, the latest show we played was like 1 a.m. Yeah, I was very tired. But whenever you're there and the adrenaline starts pushing, you don't feel it anymore. And just go. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, for those of you who may not know your music, how would you describe it?
Yeah.
We get labeled as the post-punk that's really popular in Europe, but I think we're more on the like loud rock side of things as well, a bit noise rock. We really like noise rock as well, so we try to implement that as well. So it's European post-punk with lots of noise.
Anything to add to that?
Maybe like alternative rock, but it's such a broad genre, so yeah, it doesn't say anything really.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a very wide genre. But what I guess for your, what do you guys draw influence from for your songs? Then, I mean, you mentioned noise, post-punk, alt, loud rock.
Well, when Lucas asked me to join, it was really the idea of doing like Viagra Boys and Idols kind of style, but that's not what we don't take really inspiration from that anymore. Mostly bands like Turnstile or Tidal Fight, these modern rock bands, or older stuff like Nirvana, the Pixies, Pavement, stuff like that. Loads of American bands we take inspiration from.
Yeah, that's it. And then we just jam out. I mean, yeah, I don't think we pick inspiration that directly. It's just like shit we listen to, and then we jam out in the rehearsal space, and yeah.
And how many people are in your band? I'm assuming it's more than just the singer and the drummer.
Just us. No, we're with 5. Yeah, so there's two guitar players, a bass player, and us.
Awesome. And what kind of is the songwriting process? I mean, you just mentioned jamming, but do you ever is it usually always just a jam? Do people come in with stuff, or do you like all together think of an idea, brainstorm?
I think most of the time somebody comes up with a riff or an idea, and then we work it out together. Yeah. So and sometimes the idea is like an idea for a whole song, but could be like a tiny little riff or just a sound. But we always work it out together, and yeah, it's yeah.
Real group project. Yeah.
Definitely.
Has there been any? I mean, how long have you guys been a band? A few years at this point, or?
I think 3 years now, if I'm right.
We're in our 4th year.
4th year, all right.
Yeah.
Did you guys start during the pandemic then, or?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. It was a pandemic board project. We all played in different bands who suddenly couldn't play live anymore. So it was time to start something new, just to kill time, and yeah, it was fun. It worked out very well, and yeah.
In those few years, have you noticed anything? Has there been any change in style, you think? I mean, you mentioned that you were, the idea was like Idols and Viagra Boys, but has anything changed over that time?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. Yeah. I feel our songs are better and like more well thought. And also like style-wise, I think we've changed and added just more detail, I guess.
Other than that, I guess. Sorry, are you? Is that you all good? Okay. Are you? But. Okay. Yeah. Just give me a signal if you need some help. All right. Back to the interview. But yeah, I guess would have been some newer song. I'm trying to remember some of your discography right now. Songs like "Goat." Is that some of your newer stuff, right? Or is that older?
No, that's older
Oh,
actually.
okay.
Yeah. So I think the latest we released was the -20 single, and then we have a record coming up with only new songs.
And what's kind of been the difference between the Goat and some of that stuff? Would you say?
I think the shift started with the Goat. We started out with Karen as a punk and like more punky stuff, more loud going, and then I think with the Goat we started exploring more like these vibey rock songs, more complex riffs and stuff. And I think from that moment on we've changed to that, and with the record we are bringing out in late September, you'll hear that it's still punk stuff and you still feel it, but it's more well thought through, and I think that started with the Goat actually. Yeah.
Cool. And kind of going back, how did you each of you like get started in music? Like, what was kind of like your first experience with it?
I think a good friend of mine started like playing marching drums, and just for jokes asked me to go with him, and so I did, and really liked drumming. So then I started taking drumming lessons, and then picked up a guitar, and eventually I'm singing right now. So yeah.
How about for you?
I listened to a lot of music went from a young age on. My mom has this cool story that she bought all these children's song CDs and she would play them when I was a baby and I would start crying. But then she would put up like Nirvana and Metallica, and then it will be all good. So I think was there really early on, and after a while my little brother started playing guitar, and I was like, oh, if you're playing guitar, I'm gonna start playing drums, and that's how that came together.
Awesome. Have your music taste kind of stayed the same throughout, or has it kind of evolved more towards this hard rock sound?
I feel like I started more with like the metal and rock sound, and eventually going into punk. But there has been like a while where I was only listening to like electronic music, like techno, and like drum and bass, and even some hip hop. But then I fell back into the rock, and I felt like coming home. So yeah, and then I stayed there.
Yeah, for me, I've always listened to a lot of like metal and rock and indie rock and stuff like that. Then during like the teenage years, it was a lot of metalcore. And then when I've turned 15, 16, I faded more towards the rock stuff that I like now. But still, a lot of indie as well, and I listen to quite a lot of hip hop and try to find new stuff also. Yeah.
And one thing I guess I'm kind of curious is I'm interviewing a lot of international artists, you know, trying to learn more about the world. And I'm kind of, one thing I've asked people is like, how does your music, you think, fit into the music scene of where you come from? Do you think you're kind of typical? Are you different? Are you somewhere in between?
I think we fit right in the Rotterdam music scene. We have a pretty nice scene. We've got some good bands going on, and everyone, it sounds really different, but for some reason the Rotterdam sound is quite noisy in a sense, and everybody implements like the noisy stuff as well, and then takes their own way with it.
Do you have anything to
add? So people in the Netherlands like to think Rotterdam is rough, and I think that you hear that in sound as well. So what Jim said, like noisy, whereas like in different cities, bands can be a little bit more polished and like more poppy maybe. Yeah.
How has been then your reception here in the States so far? Has it been loud, quiet, rambunctious? How has it been, I guess?
So far so good, I think. Yeah. I mean, good reception. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you find a lot of people here already know your music, or is it kind of been a discovery thing?
I think it's a big discovery thing. We're staying at someone's place, and he listened to like one of our first songs earlier this week, so he didn't know who was coming over. But yeah, I think it's been a lot of people that are surprised in a positive way when we did the International Day stage here a couple of days ago, and a lot of people were just walking by and are like, oh, that sounds interesting, and it just kept on growing and growing. The crowd started growing, and a lot of people came to the stage after the show just to thank us or ask for a set list and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a really positive experience so far.
Awesome. And on that kind of note of discovery, I'm also asking all the international artists I've been talking to, you know, what are 3 artists that you would recommend, either from like the Rotterdam scene, Netherlands as a whole, or just anywhere in the world that you think people should be listening to?
Ooh. I would say Lewisburg from Rotterdam. It's one of the best bands there is. Yeah. And Neighbors Burning Neighbors from Rotterdam as well. Very good. Yeah.
Do you have any?
Our Irish friends of Couriers are a big band to check out. They're really cool, and they, yeah, we started out in the same way, and we've been growing in the same way. So we keep bumping in each other, and that's been really fun. They're really good guys.
All right then. Well, I guess that's all I have to ask you. Thank you for taking this time. This has been Radio K with Tramhaus.